Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to share something today because I was sunbathing in the garden yesterday and I was just having a bit of quiet time and having a quick prayer and that and I just had some thoughts that came into my mind and it really spoke to me, so I just wanted to talk about that today. So this is basically so I'd say the topic for this is being in step with Holy Spirit and knowing what season you're in and being able to discern when you're actually going into another season and when to change your actions and where you're at. So I'm just going to talk about that really. So I just wanted to share a quick story of mine, my past experience from early this year. So that's what I was really thinking about. So earlier in the year, during lockdown when we couldn't work properly, I got a temporary job in a warehouse, which was 30 minutes from my house, and it was quite a hard job. It was early hours, starting early in the morning, and it wasn't the best, but it was good for a temporary. So it was, at the start I was really enjoying it, and I always try to find enjoyment in everything that I do, in any way that I can. So at the start I was really enjoying it. I met some great people and it was I was happy and it was all going really great. So this went on for quite a few weeks. Then after about 4 weeks, I think it was, I started to get really ill and have some kind of flu type of thing. It wasn't COVID, I had a test, but I got really ill, and it took me quite a while to recover. And after I was ill and I tried to go back, it was it didn't feel the same anymore. So the way that I used to enjoy it and have a laugh with everyone and just felt really chilled out, I just didn't feel that anymore. And I started to wake up in the morning, getting out of bed and thinking I don't want to go to work, and I just feel really tired, I can't be bothered. And I always pray to God to give me strength and enjoyment in everything that I do. So I was doing that, but I just felt I was still not really getting anywhere with it. So I carried on for a while, obviously, see if it would get better, and prayed through it, because obviously I still wanted to have a job. I wasn't being fussy about jobs at this point. So I went on with it for a couple more weeks. But as time went on, I just realised that I just wasn't starting to enjoy it again, and I was God, why? You always give me joy and you always give me peace. And I was actually stopped. I was stopped trying really hard to get back into enjoying it and whatever. I just stopped and I was okay, let's take a moment. Okay, God, why am I not enjoying this anymore? And I just felt He was saying, you're not being discerning of the seasons. This season is over. This season that I've given you of working here is finished, and you're not listening to me for what, for the timing for you to be here, the timing for your next season. So I was just kind of striving, if you trying to get on with it and thinking, this is what I've been given, this is what I have to work with. And I didn't actually stop to think and discern or how I was feeling, and actually, is it time to leave now? Is this season done? I hadn't given myself the time to stop and actually think about that. And at the time, as it was getting to the end of my time at this job, I was feeling really stressed and really kind of down, and that's really not me, because I'm a really happy person. I laugh all the time and I joke around and mess around. So I was thinking I'm feeling quite depressed, not clinically depressed, but I felt really low. And I was that's not me. So I knew something was wrong and I knew something needed to change, because I'm quite good at discerning how I feel normally, and if I need to change something in my life. So it was I wasn't feeling myself. So after I took time to actually sit with God and pray about it and ask what the reason was for this, He actually showed me that I was actually not taking that time out with Him to ask where I should be, what season I should be in, when it's time to end it and when it's time to move on. And while I was actually going through this period, it actually reminded me of in Philippians, where it says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, which is something I really walk out in my life. I think I can do everything because Jesus enables us to do everything, but I didn't actually think about it properly. I remember I heard from a really good leader one time who was preaching on this particular verse, and he was saying, you can do everything through Christ who gives you strength, but you can only do the things that God has given you the grace for. And I thought that was just really powerful, because it's like saying we can do all things, but we shouldn't actually be going after the things that are not God's plan for us. So we can do all things, but we can actually do all things that God has given us the grace for. Because if I think about it this way, like if I was trying really hard to go after a new job that I wanted to do, and I was giving it my all and striving to do my best, and I still wasn't getting it, and I think, but I thought I could do all things through Christ who gives me strength, maybe it's because that job isn't God's plan for you. And like, I didn't really think about it deeply in that way. So God hasn't given me the grace to have this job. It's not his plan for me to have this job, and that's why like I can't do that. So it just really made me stop and think, like, we have the grace to do what is God's will for us, but maybe it's time to change. Maybe it's the time for a new season, and maybe that's why we're in a battle and we're not getting where we want to be. Maybe we just need to stop and ask God what he has for us in this next season and what his plan for us is. Yeah, and the Bible actually says in Proverbs that in the heart of man he plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. So it's like we can make all the plans, like what we want to do, where we want to go, but like, is that actually God's plan for us? Because in the end, God actually establishes our steps. And it also reminds me where it says, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path, which is like he actually guides our way. He guides the way that's like just before us, the next step, and then he guides the path before us as well, which is like the distant future. So although we can make all these plans for ourselves, it should always be like the will of God that we want in the end, not what we want, because in the end God always knows best. He knows us, he knows what we want, and he knows what's going to be good for us in the long term. So instead of like saying, this is what I want, God, like give me this job or give me this person or whatever you want, like start saying, I want your will for me, and like pray like it says in the Lord's Prayer, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So that's actually praying for God's will to be done, which is like one of the best prayers you can pray, obviously, because God is like so wise and he's all knowing, so he obviously is going to know what's best for you. So I just think that's really spoken to me in this season. That's just really helped me to really advance, I feel like. And it also reminds me of when I was at school and I thought I knew what job I wanted to do, and I'd had it all planned out. I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be good at this. And when I actually tried to do it, I failed all my exams. like I was so bad at it. And I thought I knew what I wanted to do and I thought that was right for me, but I actually didn't ask God about it. I didn't ask for his guidance. So it was just me thinking what I want to do, and it didn't work out, obviously. But sometimes, obviously, it will work out with some people, but it was not until I actually took some time out with God, and like I actually took a year out for God to seek him more, and just to allow him to speak to me about my future more. And after I took that year out, he actually showed me really clearly a path that he has for me and a job that he has for me, and it has everything included that I asked for in my future, which was amazing. Like all the things that I said I wanted in a job, and he gave me a job which has all of these things, and I didn't even know the job existed, and I didn't even know why I was looking for that job. So it's just worked out so well, all because I listened to his guidance and I actually asked him for his will, not my will, to be done. And in the end I got more than I could have asked for, and I'm just so happy and so grateful for that. So yeah, in the end I just think basically it's so important to be discerning, to rest and to listen to the Holy Spirit, and just take time out and allow him to speak to us, and just to give us his thoughts and his ways. And as we walk like with God and we obey his commands and seek him, he will show us like what he has for us in the future, and it's far greater than we could ever imagine. So yeah, I just really encourage you to really seek God and take time to rest with Holy Spirit and just allow him to speak to you, and you'll be surprised what you find out, because I definitely was. I wasn't expecting anything that he told me and that he showed me to do. So yeah, just be discerning and don't try to strive for anything that you're not sure about. Always make sure you have peace about it, because in the end that's what I ended up doing, and I didn't have peace about this other job in the end, but I really have peace now about where I'm going, where I'm at, because I really like sought God about it. So yeah, I just really encourage you to do that. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and have a great rest of your week as well. God bless. Bye.